Hello, everybody. Today we are going to learn the usage of was and were. Yes, most of us do not know the usage of was and were, and that is why I'm creating this video so that you'll be able to understand when to use was and when to use were. So let's not spend much time and just get into the lesson. So, as you can see on the screen, we are going to learn about was and were today. Yeah, just let me move it. Yeah, so was and were are two helping verbs which we use while framing sentences under past tense. Yes, so if you ever think of creating sentences under past tense, you are going to use these two helping verbs which will help you to show that the actions took place in the past. So our confusion is when do we use was and when do we use were. Okay, so when can we use was? We can use was when our subject contains of I, he, she, it, or any kind of proper noun or any singular noun. Yes. So proper noun, if I say, that means when you use somebody's name like Rita, Sita, Geeta, the Taj Mahal, Mumbai, Bangalore. Yes. If these kind of words are your subject, in those cases they are known as proper nouns, since you are taking the specific name of all those people, all those cities, all those monuments. Yes, and they are singular, and that is why we are going to use was. And remember that whatever you are talking about, that action should have taken place in the past. And when do we use were? We use were when our subjects consist of you, we, they, or any kind of plural noun. Now here you is used both for a single person, that means when we are talking to somebody who is one, means only one person, or to a group of people. In both the cases we are going to use you. Yes, but we are not going to use you was in any of the cases, right? If we are talking to a single person also, we cannot say you was playing there. No, with you we are always going to use were, whether the person is only one or more than one. In both the cases we are going to use were. Yes, so you were playing cricket yesterday, right? I hope you understood. So let's move forward. Here there are some simple sentences which will make you understand when can you use was. Also please just check the subjects which I have used here. So it will help you to understand like with which subject you are going to use was and with which subject you are going to use were. So here I was sleeping. I was in the party yesterday. He was in Mumbai last month. She was reading a book. It was playing in the garden. The book was very interesting. Mohan was practicing for his football match. Yes. So, can you see all these actions had taken place in the past? Yes, these are not present events, but these are past events, and we want to show people that these actions have already taken place, means these actions have already been completed, and that's why we are using was here. Yeah, then sentences using was and sorry, here we are going to use know about the sentences using were. Okay, so you were reading a book. You all were playing in the park. We were working on a project. They were watching a movie yesterday. My friends were going for a party. The books were kept on the table. Yeah, so again here all these activities had taken place in the past, but because our subjects are different, our subjects are considered to be plural, and that's why we are using were here. Okay, Moving forward, we are going to understand how can we frame negative sentences using this helping verbs, right? I was not sleeping. I was not in the party yesterday. He was not in Mumbai last month. She was not reading a book. It was not playing in the garden. The book was not very interesting. Mohan was not practicing for his football match. Okay, so again all these sentences are framed in using helping verb, which shows us that the actions had taken place in the past, but these are negative. Now when it is negative, we can also use contractions, means short forms, to make our sentences little faster when we speak. So with was not, we are going to use wasn't. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't in the party yesterday. He wasn't in Mumbai last month. She wasn't reading a book. I'm sorry, she wasn't reading a book. It wasn't playing in the garden. The book wasn't very interesting. Mohan wasn't practicing for his football match. Yes? Next, we are going to see negative sentences using were. You were not reading a book. You all were not playing in the park. So, why I have written two different sentences? Here, the sentence points out to a single person, and here it points out to more than one person. We were not working on a project. They were not watching a movie yesterday. My friends were not going for a party. The books were not kept on the table. Yeah. So, can you understand the framework of the sentence? Just try writing such kind of sentences in your notebook and try thinking what you did yesterday, what you are doing now. That will help you to understand the difference between present tense and past tense. So, whenever you are talking about all the events which took yesterday, you are going to think all those about all those events using was and were. Okay, now here with were, when we are using contraction, it is weren't. You weren't reading a book. That is, can you see the spelling? WEREN apostrophe and T. Yeah, you all weren't playing in the park. We weren't working on a project. They weren't watching a movie yesterday. My friends weren't going for a party. The books weren't kept on the table. Yeah? Okay. Let's move forward. So now we are going to see how we can frame questions using these helping verbs was and were. Yeah? So here we are using was. Was I sleeping? Was I in the party yesterday? Was he in Mumbai last month? Was she reading a book? Was it playing in the garden? Was the book very interesting? Was Mohan practicing for his football match? Okay. Now, if you want to confirm what you are telling, we will write it in this way. I was sleeping, wasn't I? Okay, in the same way we can just rewrite these sentences. Yeah, like I was in the party yesterday, wasn't I? Just you have to end the sentences with contraction plus the subject, right? Then framing sentences, question sentences using were you reading a book? Were you all playing in the park? Were we working on a project? Were they watching a movie yesterday? Were my friends going for a party? Were the books kept on the table? Yeah. So I hope by now you understood how to frame sentences using was and were. right? Now we how can we use not also while framing questions sentences? Wasn't I sleeping? Wasn't I in the party yesterday? So if somebody is asking you why you were not uh, in our home yesterday, so you can just tell it in this way: wasn't I in the party yesterday? Wasn't he in Mumbai last month? Right? Wasn't she reading a book? Wasn't it playing in the garden? Wasn't the book very interesting? So you gave some books to somebody to read, and then when the person returns you can just confirm, wasn't the book very interesting? Then, wasn't Mohan practicing for his football match? Right? Then with weren't. Weren't you reading a book? Weren't you all playing in the park? Weren't we working on a project? Weren't they, excuse me, weren't they watching a movie yesterday? Weren't my friends going for a party? Weren't the books kept on the table? Yeah, okay. Then we are going to frame sentences with the question words. That is why, what, where, how, who, when, like this. Okay, so why was I working so hard? What was he looking for? Where was she working earlier? How was she? Whom was Ravi compared to? Why was the worker sleeping? Yeah. And next, why were they not going for the party? What were we looking for? What were we going? Sorry, where were we going? How were his friends? Whom were they talking to? Why were you not listening to your teacher? Right? So, if you go through all the slides, it will be very clear for you to understand how to use was and were. Since I have covered everything here, and if you feel that something is not covered, please do comment. I will just look into that, and I will come up to explain you about the same, or maybe I will create a new lesson including that also. Yes, so if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and please do like this video. Thank you.